Right before the weekend, we heard the big news about Silvergate. They would not be able to fulfill their obligations for their annual reporting on time. And the CEO put out a statement indicating that they may not have enough money to last the year. Okay, so that's Silvergate. Then we have the FTX scandal, which happened. And now, just like 2017, 2018, we're seeing a lot of old rehashed FUD. Hope everybody had a great weekend. All right, so this for me all started with, a bunch of garbage that I saw along the news aggregators for crypto. Here we go. Tweet that I put out. Seeing some old 2017, 2018 FUD coming back. Guys, every few days a different government would ban Bitcoin, and here we are today. Don't let the noisemakers distract you. Exactly. Okay, when I first got into Bitcoin in 2017, or it was late 2016, I don't even remember anymore because the just time becomes completely screwed up once you get into Bitcoin. But I used to take these things seriously. I would see a piece of news come out that would say that, oh, look, China's banning Bitcoin. And I would be afraid. Oh, this company, this country, India, is banning crypto. And I would right away, I'd be like, oh, that's it. It's over. We got to pack it in. Countries are banning it. And then all of a sudden, the next day, everything would just go back to normal. And I was like, so what's going on here? Are they really banning this stuff? Or is this all just a show? And I mean, look, my conclusion, of course, is that it's all just a show. But we're gonna go through some evidence, I think, that makes it so that it's all just a show, number one. And number two, I think what they're also doing, what governments, specific governments are doing is that they are laying the groundwork for a CBDC by doing this type of stuff. And I'll explain why. But first, let's dive into the evidence. We're going to start off first with China, okay? Because I think that China has probably made the most noise about this. Let's dive into this article out of CoinDesk. Here we go. So let's take a look at the history, okay? 2013, going back to 2013. Like, nobody even cared about Bitcoin back then, right? There weren't even enough shitcoins to cause a problem back then. Anyways, China bans banks from crypto transactions. Big spoiler, back in 2013, there were so few quote-unquote altcoins. So it's kind of funny, right? 2013, they were already ready with the ban hammer, China. Okay, 2017, China bans ICOs, initial coin offerings. Now, this was the market that I got the most wrecked in. I did partake in ICOs. I got wrecked on ICOs. I had shitcoins stolen from me stolen from me. That is definitely, you know what? I'm going to say that's more of like a victim way of explaining it. I scammed myself. I fell for something that was blatantly a scam, and I have no one to blame but myself for that. But there you go. Initial coin offerings, lots of fun. Okay, so that was 2017. China bans the initial coin offerings. 2019. Now they started to look at Bitcoin mining, which we all remember from the previous bull market. What ended up happening? 2020, enforcement rams up. And then 2021, China bans crypto trading and mining, which for those of us that were already in the market at this point, you know that this was essentially the first nation-state attack on Bitcoin. All of the China miners, or the majority of them, at the flick of a switch, just shut off. And within approximately, I believe it was 24 hours, almost 50% of the Bitcoin hash rate had disappeared. And yet, Bitcoin just kept churning out blocks. If you weren't reading the news, you wouldn't even have known that China did this. Just to give you an idea of actually how secure the Bitcoin network is. We're not talking about some small country, right, that has very few resources. We're talking frickin' China pulled the plug and Bitcoin kept on rolling. So for the people that think that some nation state actor is just going to come along and co-opt Bitcoin, you need to really open your eyes and be honest with yourself, okay? It's not happening. China's been able to stop everything else. They cannot stop this. Okay, anyways, I'm just going to keep going on and on about China. That's not the whole point of this. Now, all right. So this is just China that we went through, okay? Now let's go take a look over here. Back in 2018, India's central bank bans financial firms from dealing with cryptocurrency. Look at that, right? So you've got China, majority of the population of the world. India, also massive population. They also banned it. And yet, people are still using it out there. People are still trading out there. It's kind of strange. Now we're gonna come more into recent times. This is 2022. We've got 47% of UK banks that don't allow customers to interact with crypto exchanges. Again, banned, right? Okay. And we are going to finish it all off with this. March 2nd, 2023. That's right. Last week, HSBC and Nationwide ramp up crypto limits. HSBC nationwide limit crypto purchases with their cards. Firms cite regulator warnings about dangers to customers. This is the narrative. The narrative is the lawmakers, they want to make sure that we think that they're looking out for us. They're looking out for our best interest. But if you zoom out and you pay attention to the whole story, what's happening? You have this very loud noise telling you that governments can ban Bitcoin. Governments can ban, quote unquote, crypto. And indeed, right? We did a clip on this. All governments can stop your shitcoin. Your shitcoin has a central point of failure. But you see, they can't stop Bitcoin. So what has to happen is the narrative has to be grouped. Bitcoin, crypto, all of this is the same. Governments can stop all of this. And so this is the story that they want developed in the back of your mind. They want you to believe that this is possible because at some point they are going to come along, the governments that want the CBDC, I shouldn't say want the CBDC, but the governments that would like to enforce a CBDC type of system, they're going to come along and they're going to offer the solution. Look at all these terrible things that happened in crypto. We had to ban, we had to ban the transactions using that technology, but the government has created a solution that the government controls that you can trust. And so the average person, after seeing the carnage, after seeing the constant flip-flopping, the ban, the unban, the regulations that don't make sense, FTX, wow, this sounds like a solution, right? We can trust it. It's issued by the government. This is complete bullshit. As we've shown in previous clips, the main feature, specifically the UK government, the main feature that they're working on is how to limit your spending with the CBDC. The whole system that they are devising is a system of censorship. It is a system of how to censor you, when to censor you, and to be able to make sure that you can be censored in real time. When I first got into Bitcoin, I do forget who it was that said this, but it really stuck out in my head, and I think it is more appropriate today than it ever was. Governments that censor the most require censorship-resistant money the most.